everyone, I'm the Unobtrusive Healer, aka Felicia, and I'm here with another Pick a Pile reading for you guys today. And this one is an almost private reading. So often when people come to me for private readings, they want to go for like a general option where they get a little bit of a look at kind of everything that you could possibly look at. So in this reading, it's aimed to feel like a personal reading. So the intention is for it to be extremely accurate, but obviously reading for a group of people, sometimes, it's just take it as it resonates. But we are going to be looking at what the universe wants to discuss with you: career, finances, love, whether you're single, someone on your mind, or in a connection. We're going to break down each of those into like sort of subtopics. And then we're going to finish with spiritual and personal growth and development messages. So we have basically about an hour for each of the groups here, where it's going to feel like a personal session. And I hope that you find these messages really, really helpful. But let's get into the pile selection. So group 1, you have the Lepidolite. Group 2, Black Moonstone. And group 3, well, I'm not fully sure, but we're using it as Tangerine Quartz, even though it's probably not. But let's just call it that for argument's sake. Could be carnelian, but So take your time, take as long as you need actually to pause and center yourself and feel which group is pulling you in. This is definitely a reading where it's really just one pile per person. So if you're feeling called to 2, I would strongly suggest trying to really tune in strongly to 1. Because it's probably unlikely you're meant to kind of go to 2, but obviously, as always, trust your intuition. You are your best guide. And once you've chosen, feel free to jump to the timestamps in the description box below, and I'll see you over in your reading. Hi Group 1, welcome to your almost private reading. So in the intro, we touched on what this reading will entail. So without further ado, we are just going to dive straight in and start looking at your messages. So if you chose Group 1, you chose the Lepidolite. And this is the card that you chose with that crystal. So I'm going to reveal it now, and the plan is to read the message from the book at the end of your reading. So this is the card of transition. It's a number 33. So maybe you're seeing a lot of that number around lately, or a lot of 3s. And that's the reason that I chose the purple crystal for you guys, the Lepidolite, because this is a purple themed card and it has a Lepidolite in it. So we will look at that message at the end. And the reason I'm going to wait until the end is because often when I pull a card for the pile selection, when you read it at the end of that group, it kind of ties everything together usually. So we're going to just sort of wait to read that one for now. And the first thing we're going to do is your general portion. So when I say general, this is where I'm going to ask the universe what the universe would like to discuss with you first of all, and leave it up to spirit to decide the first sort of topic or topics that they wish to talk about. And then we're going to break down some of the sections of your life. So the first card that we have coming out here is Mars, and that says competition, action, and willpower. We then have Eros, eroticism, desire, and sex. And we're going to get one more card. we have the 7th house, partnerships, balance, one-on-one relationships. So I just took out the top one there. I didn't take out the one that was underneath. But we're going to talk about these 3 cards here. What's quite interesting is like Mars and Eros are very passionate type of energies. Mars has a lot to do with like our desire and our passion, and then we have desires and like passionate energies here with Eros. So it feels as though, and then with 7th house of partnerships and balance, I almost feel like it's quite interesting too, because this morning when I woke up, by the time I done my morning routine and then I checked Instagram, there was a post there, and it was talking about how this Mercury retrograde in Taurus, what we crave and desire at this time is what we have either deprived ourselves from or repressed for a while. So it's like repressed desires are coming up, and it seems like for you guys that's kind of what this message is all about. So it is making me think that you're going to notice more desire, more cravings for certain things, and it could have to do with like partnership, the sensual side of that, or it could just be more to do, I mean with Eros here it's hard to ignore that, but within partnerships it could be exploring other desires as well, not just those sensual desires, but there's like this real what's the word I'm looking for? It's like the energies are in your favor for you to get your needs met, explore your desires and your cravings, and bring more balance into yourself as well. I'm also feeling like with an air sign here with Libra, and especially with Libra being about partnerships, I feel like perhaps the advice here is to communicate more about what it is you desire, what it is you crave, what it is that drives you in a partnership, or maybe getting clear on that with yourself. And like if you're not in a partnership, this could be like the relationship you have with yourself and exploring your own body, your own desires, what drives you, what feels good. But yeah, it's almost like learning more about yourself, learning more about your desires, learning about where they're coming from. Yeah, interesting. So underneath the deck is the 9th house, and we have keywords here of philosophy, spirituality, knowledge. So it's like learning a lot about yourself, what you desire, what makes you feel good, what brings you pleasure, what you want to do more of, where you need more balance, what you need in a partner or from your partner, if you have a partner or not, respectively. So I'm going to leave that out actually. But it seems like this is a really powerful time to really explore yourself and your partnerships a lot more intimately. Obviously that can mean platonically for like friendships or work relationships, but this has a lot to do with like personal relationships, the relationship with yourself. Maybe you're going to notice that you're a lot more driven, you have a higher sex drive, you are feeling a lot more passionate and sensual, and you're more driven to act upon those desires at the moment because perhaps maybe that's something that you've been denying yourself of up until now, and maybe that's why that message of the Mercury retrograde that I saw on Instagram today relates here. It's like if you're in a relationship and you haven't been getting your needs met, in that way and you've been sort of quiet about it, then this is a time where you can talk about it and get those needs met and have really good conversations where you can learn about each other and what each other needs respectively. And then, like I said, if it's you with yourself, it could be about learning what you like with your own body and doing it yourself type of energy. Just really exploring your desires, what feels good, just exploring yourself and learning about your own body and desires and cravings, your own eroticism. So that's kind of what the universe wants to talk about. Quite a different message. But yeah, I think it kind of seems like that's something that you've been, denying yourself of, is like fulfillment in these areas. So perhaps this is the time where you can start to really do something about that and have the confidence to do something about that. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is I'm just trying to decide which topic to start with. Maybe I'll start with we might get into some career messages. And when I say career, that could be like a career you're working towards. So you could be in like the study part of your journey, or you could be, whatever you're doing at the moment to either earn money or work towards that for yourself. Alright, so career messages for group 1, please. What do they need to know now and going forward about career? Okay. So we have the Ark of the Covenant coming out here. Now this card, oh interesting, we got 1133. So we've got 2 master numbers coming out, which are very impactful, meaningful numbers. So this would indicate to me that you're entering a very meaningful period of your life. But the Ark of the Covenant is all about sort of that contract with your higher self that you entered into when you came into this world, about sort of like your mission, about your purpose, about what you're here to do. And this card can really be about sort of staying true to that contract and embarking on that journey of self-discovery to figure out those deep questions of why you're here and what you're meant to do with this life. When it's in reverse, it's kind of like you've broken the contract with your higher self, but when it's in the upright, it's kind of like you're renewing that contract, or you're trying to live true to that contract. So it feels like maybe part of what this transition card is telling us in this reading is perhaps you're in a transition phase where you're figuring out not even just in like love and sensuality, but like in terms of life itself, like what matters to you, what gives you a reason to get up every day, how can you be of service to the world or to others. So it feels like you're in a very meaningful part of your journey where you could potentially be either like awakening to your purpose or trying to figure out what that purpose is, because where you currently are is not bringing you fulfillment or it doesn't mean as much to you as you once thought it did or would. We have the Sands of Time in reverse now. And the Six of Keys. So now we have 33, 11 and 66. Quite interesting energy here. You could be getting a little bit more sort of creative. But one thing that I always pick up with this Six of Keys is that he's like shaping and creating that piece of art. So it just feels like this energy of sort of like taking life into your own hands and reshaping and molding it into something that you truly love. And then the Six of Scrolls in reverse is kind of making me think of like, you know, not wanting to waste any more time, or maybe even any more energy on the wrong things, or I feel like as though in general it's sort of feeling like your time is running out on the path you're on because it's not fulfilling you. And trying to transition to something more sustainable in terms of like your life force. So like something that doesn't completely drain you and take it out of you, but something that actually gives you life and gives you energy because you enjoy it so much. The Six of Keys can also represent like a time of abundance is coming your way. So maybe like the more that you reshape and remold your life to one that really pleases you, it's going to increase your abundance. So it'll increase your resources, it'll increase your time, it will increase your finances. Yeah, so ultimately I feel like you're transitioning away from something that's not fulfilling you. Maybe like even the Seven of Forces in reverse can be like a break in contract or ending a contract. Something that wasn't reciprocating the effort you put in can be coming to like an end, you know, getting out of an agreement or a contract. Is the energy of that. So I definitely feel like sort of it's like you're breaking a 3D contract to renew the contract with your higher self, and I guess kind of like move in towards something more purposeful. Okay, so now we're going to do We're going to do finances. I'll pull a few cards for that. What does group 1 need to know now and going forward about their finances? Okay. 6 of water. So a lot of 6s coming through. Okay. Oh geez, Louise. All right. So, okay. Let's take those. All right. Yeah. So you guys, very similar energies. I mean, career and finances definitely, I mean, they go hand in hand, of course, but what's interesting here is that this is almost like advice. It's not so much about what's going to happen, but it's more so advice here. And the 6 of water is definitely like that energy of going back. Like it says here, nostalgia, memories, childhood. So you could even be, the advice here would be to like go back to your childhood and reflect on the things that you used to love doing for hours on end. Just because you loved it so much. That seems to be a link. Definitely that's a link to how you can increase your money. So there's definitely something that you can either like, you know, build, grow, or sell, make, do that you love doing as a child, and it could generate income in some way. So like, let's say the first thing coming to my head is like, you know, when you're a kid you loved dancing, and then you start a YouTube channel where you start to teach people to dance, or like something like that. It's like added income, and it could help. This could be like the transition where like maybe you try to balance both for a little while, like the old job and the new hustle, but it will eventually lead to an ending where you are granted more freedom and more money. And I feel like you'll be in a position where you can like be saving money as well as living a comfortable life and enjoying what you're earning as well. So I think the transition that this is speaking of is like transitioning from one career to something more fulfilling. And it kind of shows how like, you know, you have to kind of juggle things for a while, but eventually it's going to lead to like that complete ending of what's not fulfilling. But that ending grants you freedom because you're going to be earning more, loving what you do more. You know, you'll be comfortable enough to have money saved for a rainy day, and maybe savings that are growing, as well as being able to comfortably enjoy what you're earning at the same time. I do want to say that right now in this moment, there could be like a certain money related habit that you may need to put an end to. So either like not enjoying your money enough and being too frugal, or being like too extravagant and having like no self-control and just spending all the time. But there's something to do with your finances that needs to end, or that could end, that could help your situation, is what that's kind of saying. So career, finances. All right, let's go into love and then spiritual guidance. So let me take a quick drink of my tea. All right, so I think for this bit I'm going to get, so we are going to break it down for singles, the person on your mind, and then relationships. So what I mean by that is we'll get a card, an oracle card for singles, an oracle card for people who have someone on your mind, and then a card for those of you that are in connections. And then we may look at clarifying each of those. We'll see what we get. So group 1, singles, what do they need to know now or going forward about their love life? Okay. Oh, there's 2 there. We're just going to take the top one that showed itself to us. So the card for singles is rebuild. So we will definitely clarify this one because I'm picking up two things here. The first thing that came through to me most strongly was that you could be going through a rebuild process with somebody that you have connected with in the past on some level. And it's like there was a solid foundation and there was growth, but something has like rattled the situation. But like if we look at, well, like when I look at this card, it's not a full crumbling and it's not going to knock everything down. It's just a little bit of like a shock or a rattle, but it can be rebuilt and it can be restructured into something more fulfilling for both people, both parties in the connection. And then the other thing that I kind of saw here was someone who has recently gone through a tower moment, so like a bit of an ending, or something's recently fallen apart and you've been going through your own rebuild process. So I'm going to just grab tarot and we'll get some more messages, some more clarification, because you may resonate with either of those storylines. So let's get some clarification for the singles in group 1. What's going on in their love life with this rebuild card? So we have the 4 of Pentacles once again. So, okay, let me... So we have the 4 of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and we have the Ace of Swords. So for a lot of you, this is definitely someone who they've probably been keeping their feelings very close to their chest, or they haven't been saying much. They've been a bit of a closed book and probably very difficult to read. And it feels like it's like someone who's been keeping their cards very close to their chest. In the 4 of Pentacles in a love reading, to me, is someone who is being extremely careful, extremely guarded, and very hesitant to properly open up. But I feel like with the Queen of Wands and the Ace of Swords, the sun's coming out now, so we're getting... I should have moved all of this up a bit so we get that nice holographic glow. They see you as someone, they're very attracted to you. They see you as someone very warm. And I don't know, either you being honest with them is going to help restructure the connection, or them being honest with you. One of you opens up a conversation where you're both able to get a bit of clarity. I normally read Queens as who I'm reading for, so this is definitely your energy, but the reason I'm stuck on who is going to reach out is this is their energy, and it's either like you're in their mind constantly, they're constantly thinking of you and they're going to reach out, or they are keeping their cards very close to their chest, so you're stepping into your confidence, into your power, and you're going to be the one to initiate that conversation. But either way, I'm seeing a conversation where like the air is cleared, and then that rebuild process or that restructuring can happen where the foundation's a lot more secure. And we also have the Wheel of Fortune underneath the deck with that one, so it's almost like it gets the wheels turning again. It's like that's the grease that this wheel needed to get moving, and then it's almost like momentum builds and there's growth from there. And then if you resonated with the other message where like you kind of you're going through your own personal rebuild after something has ended, I feel like you have been very closed off and guarded yourself, but I'm seeing you kind of enter into this more passionate, more confident, kind of bold and assertive energy and putting yourself back out there. I'm kind of just like a more clear perspective, more confident, more outgoing. It's like really kind of bringing me back to this message here. It's like feeling confident in who you are, what you need, what you want, and being very clear on that with anybody that you might meet, or if you're putting yourself out there. It's just like being really honest from the get-go, being very clear and direct, and that's what's going to help the universe bring you like that fated person or that destined person, is because the more honest and clear you are in your intentions, the universe can bring you something that matches that. So that's what I'm seeing for group 1 singles. Alright, so now the person on your mind, if you have a person on your mind, what's going on with them, how are they feeling, or what's the message here? Alright, so we have an Ace of Cups energy here with Love Abounds. So there could be like a new beginning or a fresh start. If you've already had a beginning, there could be like a fresh start, or there could be a deepening in connection, because this can be a card of like a connection, like emotional feelings growing and deepening. So let's get some clarifiers for the person on group 1's mind. So it feels like they've been withdrawn. The Hermit energy makes me think of this person. They've been a little bit withdrawn, detached, not saying much. You've either not seen them or not heard from them in a while. And they've been in a very like introspective, reflective mode. Queen of Pentacles and the Chariot. Okay, but they are definitely awakening to your value, seeing you as a very compassionate, caring, giving energy, and they're feeling very driven to kind of like win you over or to make it work with you. So they've been withdrawn, but I think they may have had some realizations or some epiphanies, or while they've been on their own, maybe your giving and understanding nature, your compassionate nature, has given them like the space to kind of grow and be more confident and motivated in making something happen with you or deepening the connection. So I feel like they are definitely going through this like awakening, and this like the confidence in them is growing, and they're going to make a move and take very quick, decisive action quite soon. Because they see your value. Something about either your actions, your energy, something has been like they've kind of gone, wow, like this person's really valuable. I think I need to stop being so fearful and do something here before I maybe potentially lose out altogether. Yeah, so they've been withdrawn, but while they've been withdrawn, they're awakening to your value, and it's really motivating them to step into like a role where they are the initiator, or like taking action, taking more action, being more driven, and practical maybe as well, like taking grounded steps towards you. For some people, like the Chariot can represent travel at sometimes. So for some of you, maybe they're going to ask to take you away, or if this is like some sort of long distance thing, maybe they're going to fly you out, or they're going to fly to you, or drive, depending how long distance it is. But it can also be a card of travel. So lastly, let's look at those that are in connections or in relationships. Okay, we're not going to take any, they all fell down. So group 1, in connections. Okay, so we'll take that one there. Healing begins. So it seems like your connection's about to shift in a more positive direction, and enter a stage where it's kind of like smoother sailing. I did notice that underneath that was the throat chakra. So this could be like really honest and authentic communication about feelings, and like what you guys want in the future, and kind of getting back on the same page. But it definitely feels like, I don't know, it's I'm really being I'm trying to just figure out the deeper meaning, because I keep hearing peeling back the curtains, peeling back the curtains. Oh, yeah, okay. So again, like going back to this message up here, it's like everything that you've tried to hide or ignore, or yeah, just sort of like repress. It's like you're peeling back the curtains and starting to talk about those things, starting to be more vulnerable and authentic in those things, and then that's where the true healing begins. So it's like talking about the things that normally you're not comfortable talking about, having those difficult conversations, having very open, honest conversations, and therefore healing the connection and moving it into a more positive direction, for sure. We'll just get some clarifiers because we did that for the others. Okay, so the Seven of Swords just flicked out, but then it flicked back in. So it might not be significant enough for it to fully come out, but some of you, either you or your partner may have told like a white lie, or did something that they thought that they were going to get away with but didn't. It doesn't have to be too major. I mean, it could be. It could just be minor. But this is like really sort of peeling the layers back and working through the issue, so that you don't just put a blanket over it, but you actually openly talk about it and heal the issue at the root. Or heal the root of the issue. Okay, so we have Justice. So yeah, if something was done in the dark, it's coming to light. and this provides an opportunity to heal and rebalance the connection. So someone could, you or them could just, so very logical, honest, authentic conversations in order to help the connection grow and to help you guys feel secure moving forward. It could even be as simple as getting on the same page about the future and what you want to do together in the future. Making long-term plans together and just really getting on the same page about that. Some of you guys could be making plans to travel, entering like a payment plan to pay a trip off, entering a contract to put a down payment on a home so that you can relocate. Making plans, just basically making any plans that you both agree on and that are going to bring either stability, value, or, you know, good vibes, happiness into your connection, is what I'm seeing there. Alright, so the final part of this is the spiritual guidance or the spiritual growth messages. So I'm just thinking which deck to go with here. Of course, because you guys are group 1, you're like my iron out the kinks group. And I like to see which decks I'm pulled towards in the moment. So you guys get my little pauses while I go get decks and things like that. But as I'm talking, I'm noticing again another synchronicity. We have 1616, so 1616. So many synchronicities in your reading, it's actually kind of ridiculous. So yeah, very, very significant sort of chapter that you're entering at the moment. Very significant changes and transitions. Very, very significant part of your journey. Okay, so I think we'll get one from here. So spiritual guidance or personal development type of guidance for group 1. Okay, so you guys got 2. We'll take both. Let me just... I'm running out of space over here. Okay. So you got the love, Hadarian energy, codependency, boundaries, and wait. It is not yet time. Things are being woven. Spiritual and personal development guidance for group 1, please. We'll take you, the koi carp, two again. Okay. Then we've got the kangaroo, courage, and the army of life with the leaf cutter ant. So a few cards to get through. All right, so with You've Got the Love and Wait, I almost feel like the first thing I want to talk about is, I think this definitely relates to any and all of the love situations down here. So regardless of which situation you're in, once again, I feel like it's sort of being very open and honest about, you know, your boundaries, your needs and desires in a relationship, removing any sort of codependency, and learning to not rush into anything and to allow, I guess, allow things to unfold as they are meant to. So it does feel a lot like, once again, sort of having those open and honest conversations. I'm going to pull the book out for that one and just have a quick look. Feels like I'm meant to see something. So the Hadarians are believed to be beacons of pure, divine, unconditional love who see love in all people and situations. As a result, they can find it hard to have boundaried, interdependent, healthy relationships because they only see the unconditional nature of those they meet. The lovers of the cosmos, they dive in fast. They're here to learn how to love while in a separate body, to learn to love self first, and then establish a healthy relationship with others, to remember that the true love they already seek is within them, that they truly do have the love all on their own. The message of this card is to review the ways you may need to establish healthier boundaries. Perhaps you are in a codependent relationship in which you may be losing your sense of self. It's common for starseeds to dive deep into relationships, particularly with those who feel safe and familiar at a soul level. Perhaps you're in a relationship in which you give more than you receive, or perhaps there's a certain volatility to it, and you're always unsure where you stand. This card is a sign to do a relationship review and see what energetic agreements you've made, consciously or unconsciously. To acknowledge if there are relationships in which you feel anxious or powerless, in which you don't feel like it's safe to relax and just be you. To assess if there are any places of inadequacy that you've used a relationship to soothe and cover up. Something you can ask yourself is, do you lose yourself in relationships? If so, how? And how can you develop a deeper love for yourself? So I think that's definitely going to be a helpful message for the right people. And then looking at this card of Wait, I do feel like this is kind of talking, like on its own, is talking more about sort of your career journey at the moment. And it's kind of letting you know that, like, you know, it's not yet time to just take a leap into something completely different or to completely end your job. Like, you need to be logical and rational about this process as well, because this story is still unfolding. As it says here, things are still being woven in the cosmos, in reality, and this is a sort of a process that's going to unravel itself over time. So don't rush it. Don't feel like time's running out. If anything, you have all the time in the world, and you should use that time to, like we said with the Six of Water, like go back to childhood and reflect and think about the things that genuinely make you happy. Because there are definitely things that you can learn from there to integrate at the right time. Excuse me, I'm just going to take another sip of my drink. Okay, so we have, where do I want to start? Let's just start with the leaf cutter ant at the top. So if you notice, ants are always kind of working together, and they kind of work in like an army. They're always supporting and helping one another sort of get the job done. So this is about seeking out your army. Oh, excuse me, big yawn. You guys might be really tired and needing to prioritize sleep at the moment. I don't always randomly get a very sporadic yawn like I just did. So that could just be a quick added thing, but definitely seek out your army in this life, your soul tribe. You're not alone. Seek support, ask for help where you can, and rely on your tribe. Use your tribe for, not use them, use like take advantage, but they're here to help. They probably want to help. So if you don't know your tribe, maybe it's a sign to sort of seek them out. Maybe it's a sign that this could be a very good time for you to put yourself out there in places where you'll be around like-minded individuals. So like if you're into meditation, joining a meditation class, or if you have a creative hobby, joining a class or a group, putting yourself in places where you're going to meet people who are interested in the same things to you, or maybe think or do the same things as you, in order to find that tribe, because you're not alone. And if you are, it just means that you are yet to come into contact with those who are meant to be on your journey. We also have the kangaroo. Courage, you're being tested, have faith and stand in your truth. So I do feel like that relates to a lot of what's going on in this reading, about sort of being tested throughout this transition page, but having courage nonetheless, having faith in who you are, what you're here to do, standing in your truth, speaking up for yourself, being authentic, expressing what you need to express, and having courage to do so. And I also think about sort of leaps and bounds with a kangaroo. So I do feel like, you are going to be moving in leaps and bounds in the time to come. And the more connected to your truth and the more connected to your faith you are, the easier it will be to make that progress. And then with the koi cup, we have abundance. Move with the flow of abundance around and through you. This is making me think of, the first thing that came to mind randomly was like joining a class where you are doing some sort of movement. So whether that's like yoga, Tai Chi, dance, fitness classes, some kind of movement is going to help you kind of like move your energy, not be too rigid, clear out energy. It seems like movement is going to be very, very beneficial to you. So even if you don't join a group, I'm just thinking like all these fish are together in a group. But even if a group situation is not your thing, making sure that you're moving a lot at home, because the more that you're moving, I guess the more that you're flowing, and there is all this abundance kind of flowing around you that's kind of unable to flow through you at the moment for some reason. So I just feel like movement is going to be very helpful for you. And it also kind of makes me think of, flexibility, being flexible with life, being flexible with yourself, being flexible with just, things in general, because there's a lot of change going on. So I guess the more that you move and flow in your own body, the more you can move and flow with the change as well as the abundance that's coming towards you. So the final thing we're going to do is we're going to now read the message from this card, Transition. Okay, so it says here, the Stone of Transition, this indicates a time of restructure and reorganization. Okay, so restructure was a word that was heavily coming through. Love that. Reorganization of old patterns and beliefs. It may be a stressful time for you, but it's time to bring calm and harmony into your life. Trust that with transition comes new ways of thinking and being. The upheaval is all part of the process. There is no need to worry. Everything is as it should be. Allow yourself to flow through this transition, knowing that old patterns will be transformed into new ways of thinking and being for your higher good. What no longer serves you is being transformed into something that will, so you can bring a sense of stability back into your life. This in turn will also help with bringing back your emotional balance. Meditating with this stone or card, or even just asking of the energy of the lepidolite to be with you at this time, may bring a sense of calm. Lepidolite is known for its ability to relieve stress. Being a purple stone, it helps with the mind or third eye chakra to reduce obsessive thoughts. It is also used near computers to absorb the electromagnetic energy they create. Let lepidolite alleviate your stress and bring calm to your body and environment. It will clear blockages that are holding you back so you can move forward uninhibited. It's time to balance your emotions, de-stress, focus, and achieve your goals with or without the help from others. You can do this, you are doing this. Trust in the process and you will be rewarded. So it does here with or without help from others. And I think that that's like a little notion to people that haven't found their tribe. It's like you can still start this journey. You're already on this journey. Just trust that this journey will lead you to those people. So it's whether you have those people around you or not, it's basically like a little reinforcement that like you can still do this yourself and you will still be led to those people. So don't lose hope if you don't have your army or your people, but I think that you're being led to them through this journey anyway. So that's it from me, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. Sending love, light, and everything bright. Bye. Hello, group 2. Welcome to your almost private reading. So I've already touched on, I guess, what this reading entails in the intro. So we're just going to dive straight into the reading now. You guys chose this beautiful crystal here, which looks like a little night sky up close. Could look at it all day, that one, honestly. And we're going to pop her up the top there. We're also going to reveal your card now, but we're going to wait until the end of the reading to read the message from the guidebook. So you guys chose number 1, emotions, with the black moonstone. So this is the closest I had to black moonstone. I think it's called like blue moonstone, or I don't know, something like that. I honestly forget. I have too many and I don't label them all. But we're going to pop this card over there for now, and we're going to, like I said, read that one at the end. Actually, when I just looked up at where I was placing the crystal, if it was still in view, it was 111 on the camera timer, and your group number is 1. So that would make 1111. So you could be seeing either 111 or 1111 a lot lately, or maybe you're about to start seeing that sort of as confirmation of this reading. But either way, let's start with the general portion of this message, where we are basically seeing what the universe would like to talk to you about before we dive into the different areas of your own life. So what would the universe like to discuss with group 2 today? So we have the first house coming out first. Self, body, and presence, another 1. And Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, which is the symbol on that card there. Then we have the 8th house. We have metamorphosis, death, and rebirth. And we have Saturn with discipline, obstacles, and boundaries. Underneath, we have Libra, diplomatic, harmony, and balance. So I'm not going to keep it out at the moment, but if it relates a lot with the message, then I'll pull it back out into the spread. Okay, so what this looks like to me is that you could be going through like a Saturn return. And this happens like every so often in your life, because it's quite, I'm trying to think of what the number of years is between each Saturn return. It could be around 9 years. Perhaps that's the number that's coming to mind. So it could be wrong, you might have to check. But basically, it's like every time Saturn does a full circle in your chart and comes back to where it was when you were born. So this kind of looks like a Saturn return, because with death and rebirth and metamorphosis and self-body presence, this is like all about you. This is about like a major metamorphosis happening within you, and Saturn really challenges us, and a Saturn return can be challenging to the point where it does make us go through a metamorphosis, and it completely transforms us in many ways. So I feel like you guys could be going through a Saturn return, but regardless of whether it's a Saturn return or not, it's just simply describing a period where you're going to be challenged, but it's a period where you can really transform yourself for the better if you choose to, by creating more discipline and healthier boundaries in your life. So if there's been any sort of patterns or limiting beliefs that have, I guess, impacted your ability to set healthy boundaries, cultivate self-discipline, it feels like that's what's kind of implied with the death part of this reading. And then I feel like the rebirth part, or what's being rebirthed within you, is that sense of being able to stick to your intentions and your goals and your values, and set healthy boundaries and prioritize yourself, look after your body, look after yourself, look after your life. There's a real I think that in terms of advice, I think what's important throughout this process is that even when you're being challenged, and even when you are facing difficult times in your life, it's about like, that's where discipline is most important. Like, that's when we need it the most. So I feel like the advice here is to like cultivate like a spiritual routine where you're looking after your mind, body, spirit, and try to stick to that the best you can. So I'm not here saying you have to be perfect and, you know, forget about the challenges and just be perfect all the time. No, like obviously you need to honor yourself and honor your needs, but the best way through it is to like honor your routine, just a basic routine, and just keep that, like, even if it's one thing every day, like a moment to pray, a moment to just express gratitude, 5 minutes to just center yourself, clear your mind. Some sort of simple routine that you can implement in your day-to-day is really going to, I think, just sort of ground you and get you by like the best that you can. I hope I'm making sense. With the fact that we had Libra on the bottom, Libra can be about relationships, and I think that with the first house, this is all about the relationship with yourself, honouring your own boundaries that you're setting for yourself, sticking to what you say you'll do, honouring your commitments, treating yourself better, treating your body better, that kind of thing. Excuse me. Alright, so I might pull a couple of cards and just see if there's anything that tarot can add to that, because at the moment it just seems like the universe is letting you know, like you're either already going through this challenging time, and spirit's here letting you know that cultivating small and simple to stick to routines in your life will slowly create discipline. But really honor yourself, honor your needs, because there's quite a metamorphosis going on, and I think that you could be doing like a lot of processing, maybe about your past and things like that. But yeah, let's see if tarot can add anything to the universe's message here. Okay, so we have a King of Pentacles. We have a Tower. Very sort of 8th house and Saturn vibes there. Oh. Okay. So with the Tower coming out here, as well as we've got 8th house energy out there, I definitely am picking up some sort of, at the bare minimum, it's a shake-up, but it could be quite a drastic change or quite an unexpected ending. With the King of Pentacles, it could be work-related, like the loss of a job, or it could be a relationship, loss of a relationship of some kind. But it seems that like what it's doing is giving you an opportunity basically to follow your heart with the Knight of Cups there. So basically I think that a more general message with these 4 cards is that stay grounded, stick to your values and morals, and try to tune into like a higher wisdom that whatever's ending, whatever's leaving, whatever's coming crashing down is all for a reason, and it's going to redirect you to a more truthful or more aligned path. It's not to say it's going to be easy and it won't be challenging and you can just breeze by, but I think that by honouring your wellness routines, continuing to value yourself, don't neglect yourself throughout the process, and stay grounded as best you can, you can be I do feel like you're in a pretty unshakable energy when this happens. Like the King of Pentacles is quite an unshakable energy. Grounded, knows themselves, you know, difficult to rattle. So you do have the ability to see this from like a higher perspective and see the opportunity that it's actually granting you. So let's move on. We're going to now break down several different areas of your life. So we're going to begin with the career portion and pull a few cards to see what's going on or what you need to know now and moving forward in relation to your career. So career can mean, you know, you're studying and working towards a degree or qualification. It can mean that you already have a career. It can mean that you are in between careers. But hopefully we'll get a message that resonates with everybody. Okay, so for group 2, what do they need to know now and moving forward regarding their career? We have the 2 of Keys, the Treasure. Very interesting. So this card here, as we can see, where this guy is looking, it's almost like there's like this huge mess. I know it's difficult to see because it's a bit of a darker card, but like the chairs are tipped over, stuff's everywhere all over the floor. It looks like a huge mess. It's almost like it looks like maybe someone's been in there and trashed the place, or you know, something's gone quite wrong. Or we could even look at that as like the Tower that we had come out with the tarot. I wish the card was still here. Like the Tower's done this big thing and everything's fallen off the shelves, and you know, there's something appears to be a bit of a mess and not looking too promising. But this light behind this gentleman here, in the deck it says like if he was to turn around he would realize that there's this golden light or this happy outcome, this silver lining type of thing. Or like there's, you know, there's hope, there's opportunity, there's something to be gained from this situation. And that's what I was literally just saying, like even though there's an ending or something's coming crashing down, it's actually creating an opportunity for something better to fall into place. So basically on the surface level, on the surface level, it's going to look like something's gone wrong, or it's going to be like a big mess to clean up, or like something's just not gone right. I'm going to reshuffle those because I don't know. But anyway, on surface level, something's gone wrong, but then from a higher perspective, an opportunity is created out of that. We have Archangel Gabriel. So he's really all about communication, truth and authenticity, confidently expressing yourself. And we have the King of Roses in the reverse position. So I'm almost getting the vibe that maybe speaking your truth or expressing your truth is potentially like the cause of what goes wrong. But I'm just trying to feel my way through this. So like Archangel Gabriel is like representative of finding it easier to express yourself and be open and honest. So it feels like you're going to have an easier time communicating, even when it's like hard to have conversations or difficult conversations. And the King of Roses in reverse can be like a disruption in a relationship, whether it's like friend, family, romantic, and it can even represent like a pretty turbulent situation or upheaval. So this almost feels as though maybe you find the courage to talk about something that you really need to talk about, and then it erupts, and then it's like the whole situation ends and it's like, oh my god, what have I done? But in reality, it's like you're redirecting yourself to a better relationship, better friendship, better thing, or you're leaving behind someone that doesn't value you. So it's not really a loss at the end of the day. Because anybody that you lose from being open, honest, and truthful, like about your feelings and your needs and things like that, they're not meant to be in your life anyway. So I think that it's interesting that this is career, because it's almost coming through like a family, or I don't know, maybe it is work related, or you have a falling out with a boss or an employer, or I don't know, you speak about your beliefs or your values on social media or something, and you lose your job, or like, you see where I'm going with this. It's like speaking your truth ends up costing you someone or something. If I look at the King of Roses as yourself versus as another person, I would say that this is to do with the way that you talk to yourself and like an inner dialogue rather than communication with another person. And I feel as though like these two cards make me think of someone who's kind of like rewiring their inner dialogue and how they talk to themselves. And then maybe you're going to see like a shift in your external world, that when you kind of look back, you're like, oh my god, I was so unkind to myself, or like, look how much better things have gotten since then, type of thing. But this is just like a very interesting reading, because it's, I don't know, like the King of Roses, perhaps rather than like a person, maybe it's more to do with like, you know, a project or something you've been trying to build or create or invest in that goes wrong, and then it gives you an opportunity to align I don't know, this is very, I'm not gonna lie, I'm having a hard time pulling this particular message through. Oh my gosh, underneath the deck is, it's kind of like the Tower card in this deck. And again, it's like something's gone terribly wrong, or something's being burnt to the ground. But if you look out in the other direction, there's like an opportunity to come out of it once again. Like, I don't know, I'm not going to spend too much time on that part. Either you're going to resonate with the messages that I've got or not, but unfortunately it's just not coming through too strongly in terms of like career. It's more about like, it's almost like speaking your truth to a person or standing up for yourself to someone, and then it creates a mess and you're like, oh my god, what have I done? And it's like, well, actually here's an opportunity to come out of this now. But yeah, I'm going to move on because I feel like I'm wasting a lot of time kind of stewing on that one. So now we're going to pull a few cards for finances. Finances for group 2. What do they need to know now and going forward? If you've been like wanting to stand up to someone that you work with or a boss or something, but you fear speaking your truth or standing up for yourself because of what the outcome will be, I think that this is almost like you're worrying about nothing, like there's nothing to worry about, kind of like do it anyway. Because regardless of the outcome, whatever the outcome is, it's meant to be that way. We have 5 of water coming through to start with for finances. So there's an energy here with oh my gosh. Hold on a moment. All right, so that one's up. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. With disappointment and regret, that's definitely making me think of like impulse purchases that you come to regret, and then you kind of end up short for maybe more meaningful or important things. So be careful of impulse buys or impulse purchases that leave you, short on rent or short for bills and things like that, short for food even, because it does feel like in the moment you might be like, yeah, I've got enough money, my money's going to last, but there's like maybe something that you're forgetting about, and then it later comes back to you feeling very regretful, crying over spilled milk type energy. We have strength, so courage, compassion, perseverance. So yeah, try to stay balanced and patient, and try to remain in your strength, and avoid those impulse buys. Try to persevere and push through, and wait for better timing, or try to maybe save and earn it for yourself once you have the amount saved, and because you'll feel better about yourself too by sort of like putting money away and then experiencing that rewarding moment of being able to fulfill that desire. And we have the 5 of Earth, so lack, worry, assistance. So yeah, again, with both of these cards, there's a chance that you're going to be or maybe right now you're kind of in a period where you're just getting by, or you're struggling, or maybe you're falling a little bit behind or something along those lines. Spirit's asking you to prioritize like your mental and emotional well-being, and like get grounded and try to use the power of your mind to like manifest and create and generate more resources and things like that, because the power of the mind is incredible. And when you're in your strength and in a really good energy, you attract infinite resources, because it's basically your birthright. So prioritizing like your spiritual, holistic well-being will improve your finances. And this card also talks about how if you've been in a phase of lack or worry, assistance is now here and the angels are coming to help. So I think that this is sort of like combining spirituality into your financial practices, and using your mind and your ability to manifest by using the law of attraction and things like that to help increase, and just sort of speak to your angels and ask for assistance and ask for support and things like that. That's what the universe is saying about finances. So now we're going to go into the love section. So we're going to get a section for those of you that are completely single. If there's someone on your mind that you'd like to sort of know about, we're going to look at that as well. And then we're going to look at people that are already in connections, regardless of what level you're at. So we'll get into that. One sec. Okay, so group 2 singles. What's going on in their love life at the moment? What can they know now moving forward? What's coming next? What's going on? Singles, group 2. So we have another number 3, and it's share the love. So far this card's sort of making me think of, I think there's a saying that I'm probably going to ruin, but it's something about like being the love, or embodying the love that you wish to receive. And what this is sort of making me think of is opening up emotionally, giving love, sharing love, emitting love in order to cast a ripple out and then attract it sort of back to you tenfold type thing. With the 2 3s here, again, it's making me think of like Empress, which is master manifester energy. So the Empress can manifest things very easily, and it's making me think like, yeah, just sort of sharing that love will help manifest it in for you. When I kind of look in the background and we see these shadows, and we've got like a couple there. Actually, are they all... Yeah, no, I think they are all the same. I think it's the same couple every time, but sometimes they're flipped over. Maybe there's someone that's you kind of have a crush on now, or that you're into now, or someone that you're going to meet soon, and Spirit's telling you to like be open, be expressive, don't hesitate or hold back on sharing your love and your feelings. But it also makes me think of the 3 of Cups, where it's like spend time with your friends, share the love with your friends, surround yourself with people who love you, with people that you love. just to sort of generate those loving energies around you, I suppose. I'm just going to reshuffle that because there was a few cards there. Oh, look at that. It's the Empress, 333. And I was just talking about the Empress and how it's making me think of the Empress. So definitely, like, you attract what you are. Like, not always, but because when you're an Empress, sometimes you attract people who are in need of your healing and your light and things like that. But for this reading's sake, you are what you attract. And this is just saying, like, the more that you give love, you express love, you embody love, the more it's going to come back to you in a multitude of ways. And you can use that power to manifest something incredible towards you in love, like an equal partner, a soulmate energy. Yeah, look, true divine counterpart energy. The Four of Wands can be called the 1111 card. And actually, we spoke about 1111 at the start of your reading too. When I looked up and when I was putting your crystal there, I was like, I just saw 111, and we had just talked about this number 1 here, and I was like 1111, and now we've got 11 and 1111 with the pot. Oh my god. Okay, wow. Yeah, so this is a powerful time or powerful portal, powerful window of opportunity, whatever you want to call it, to manifest in your counterpart, like a true soulmate, a twin flame, a counterpart, that type of energy. So you can really use your energy and the law of attraction to manifest an equal partner, your life partner. Ten of Swords reverse. Was that even meant to come out? Six of Wands. Okay, so Six of Wands kind of makes it make sense, I suppose. Ten of Swords in reverse, sorry, is I feel like coming back to that negative self-talk and putting an end to that cycle of like hurting yourself with your own thoughts and words and your own harsh judgments of yourself, and kind of like rewiring your thoughts, your dialogue into one that helps you generate more success for yourself. So thinking more positively, speaking to yourself more positively, not being so hard on yourself, because you come in as someone who's quite self-critical, and maybe you deal or struggle with negative self-talk, and healing that or overcoming that can definitely benefit your love life. I do want to say the Empress doesn't like chase things, she attracts them. So like the key here is attracting, like letting it come to you. But obviously you still have to put yourself in situations where you can meet people. Obviously that's goes without saying, they're not going to show up in your living room. But like you wouldn't have to approach a person, you wouldn't have to chase a person, like they will come to you, and your energy will be so powerful that like you won't have to lift a finger, like it's going to just happen very organically from there. So that is singles. Let's get a card for the person on your mind for group 2. So we have number 5, challenging times for the person on your mind. So this could be this could be the two of you having going through a challenging time, or this could be them going through a challenging time on their own. We've got 555 here as well, so we've got 333, 555, 1111 / 111 are synchronicities for this group that you might already be seeing or that you might start to see. But I kind of feel like this is your person, so it almost feels like they're very guarded, very shielded, and it almost looks like there's like a mask here. It's like they're telling you a little bit but not a lot, but they are it feels like they are going through a challenging time, and they're being a little bit guarded about who they speak to about it. But like this shield is like right over like their heart space. So it makes me feel like, you know, they've got a very guarded heart. They're not very open. Alright, so we're just going to clarify this card. Too many. Can we clarify challenging times for the person on group 2's mind? Okay, so we've got the High Priestess, we have the 4 of Wands, and we have the 2 of Cups. So they're definitely not revealing too much, but I definitely feel like they see a lot of potential in you, and they see you as being very much like an equal in their life, someone they have a lot of feelings for, someone they care deeply about, someone that they could possibly consider to be a soulmate, but it doesn't feel like they are saying too much about this. Like, the High Priestess doesn't really say a lot. She's very quiet and observant. So this person's definitely in like an observant energy. The 4 of Wands could be to say they're very focused on like the home or the family for some reason. Sorry guys, I had someone banging on my door. Right, so now I need to just sort of tune back in. Give me a second. So it feels to me like it's almost like your souls connect, or your higher selves connect. But like on the surface level, this sort of, in reality, it's like maybe you're not saying much to each other at all. Like there's a lot that's up in the air, a lot's left to mystery with that High Priestess card. I feel like maybe both of you aren't fully expressing your whole truth, and maybe you're holding back a little bit and keeping a lot hidden. But like on an energetic level, it feels very different. So like, it could be very confusing for you, because you might be able to feel their energy a lot and pick up on their energy a lot, but they're not saying or doing anything in reality. But then behind these cards is that challenging times card. So it's like, this is what they're having to deal with, and they're going through these challenges and changes perhaps in their own life. So in reality, they don't have a lot of time or energy left, but then on an energetic level, it's like they're constantly thinking of you, and they're constantly seeking you out, or their higher self's constantly seeking out your energy. So I can imagine that would be very confusing. like constantly feeling their energy, but then not really having much to go off in the real world. So maybe let's see what your advice is. What's group 2's advice? We have a lot of themes of like, you know, communicate your truth, prioritize yourself, create boundaries, have discipline. So it feels like maybe that could relate here, where you need to try to communicate clearly and openly to bring some vulnerability into the connection. We have the Hierophant. Okay, hang on. That was, no. No. So the Hierophant, I feel like, is, you know, staying honest and true to your values. So like, an example of this would be like, you know, if you value honesty and communication and this person's not giving that to you, then be honest about that and stay true to that. And, you know, maybe you need to tell them, like, you're not giving me what I need. So I feel like we're not aligning or something. But this is like a card of like, you know, values, morals. It can be about traditions, but I'm not picking that up as much because we're looking at advice. So I feel like this is, you know, get clear on your values, your morals, your beliefs, and if any part of you is going against those by waiting around for this person, then maybe you need to make some sort of adjustment. Yeah, so 7 of Swords with the Hierophant is making me think that something about this is making you go against your higher knowing or your higher self. It's like you're trying to deceive yourself. So I feel like instead of going against your own values, you might need to reestablish boundaries. I'm also seeing that kind of as a boundary, like putting 2 swords between you and the other person and being a bit more selective about how much time, energy, communication you give, how available you are. Six of Swords. I mean, moving on if you have to. If they're not giving you what you need, then you're lying to yourself in order to stay, is kind of the message there. So maybe you need to assess whether it's time to move on to something more stable. With the 9 of Pentacles on the bottom, it feels like there's something more stable for you out there. So if they can't give you what you need, maybe it's time to, you know, slowly but surely move on. But I think that it all starts with, you know, being open and honest, communicating, and assessing whether this person's aligning with your values and morals and giving you what you need as well. I was kind of leaving this message out for that portion there because I don't want to give anybody false hope, but for some of you it is the case. But they have definitely envisioned like marrying you and settling down with you. But it's just about, it's not about what they've imagined or what could be. You really need to judge this based in reality. If you're not giving me what I need, I'm not going to put my life on hold, that type of thing. So what about those that are in established connections? We have find a balance. So this could mean like a few excuse me, I've got a lot of energy clearing right now. This could mean a few different things. So we will clarify, but obviously it's got a lot to do with finding balance. So this could be like, you know, kind of like advice, like telling you to find a balance or a compromise with something. So like if you guys feel like, and again it's bringing me back to all this sort of communicative energy, but like if you're finding that you're lacking time together, quality time or something, maybe it's about finding balance by, you know, no phones while we eat dinner, or like no phones an hour before bed. You know, one night a week we go and do this together. In terms of, yeah, that perspective. But then there's also, it could be like maybe you guys are working a lot and now you're going to try and, you know, get a holiday in or something like that. Let's just clarify and see exactly what this means. It could be finding a balance between your needs and their needs to find like a happy medium or a happy compromise. Okay, so it almost came out, but then it didn't. Let's have a look. We've got the 10 of Wands and the 9 of Wands in the reverse position. So this is giving me the energy of like doing things the same old way and expecting different results, because it feels like there's a lot of burdens in this connection, but nothing's really been done to solve them, or whatever you are doing to solve them, it's just not working and a new strategy is required. Those energies with the reverse position, it's like a cycle needs to end. You know, one person's got to stop carrying such a big load here, and more of a sort of team effort needs to be had. I do notice that in this position, both of these people are turned away from each other. And maybe there's a bit of like, well, I've got all this going on, oh, but I've got all this going on, and it feels like a little bit of like a competitive kind of vibe, or like keeping score type energy. And we have the 5 of Cups. So very simple advice is to stop focusing on everything that's going wrong and focus on everything that's right about the two of you. And that's the two. So you can find balance by a simple change of perspective. So it seems like right now you're both kind of out of sync, out of harmony, focusing on everything that's not right about the two of you. And it's almost like you've forgotten why you are together in the first place, or why you fell in love in the first place. And it seems as if by changing your perspective and focusing on the positive, or making time for the positive, making time for the things that brought you together in the first place, it feels like this can be easily resolved. And again, that balance, that harmony, that team, that we energy can kind of come back into the picture, instead of feeling like two separate parties. Alright, so that's what we have got for the love section. So we're going to wrap it up with spiritual guidance, or like personal development type guidance. And we're going to we'll get one of these to start with. So personal / spiritual guidance that group 2 needs to know now and moving forward. a double, actually, why am I putting it over there? We need to put it in the middle. Double mission. Actually, let's put it over there. And then we are going to get, oh, holy moly, she's all over the place. We're going to get a couple of messages from here. Group 2, personal and spiritual development. Spider and the lion. Okay, so with double mission over here, Lightworker Starseed, serve the world by being you. Again, so this card definitely relates to like a heavy theme that's going on for you at the moment, and it's all about being yourself, expressing yourself, and really just aligning with who you really are. So this card can be about how like part of your mission is fulfilled simply by being very authentic and being yourself, because when you are authentically yourself, you can inspire others to be the same, and it acts like a ripple effect. Like being the best you is the best thing that you can do for the entire world. It's not just for you, it's for everybody. So you know, being yourself, expressing yourself, even if it means losing people, jobs, situations, because you know, if that's your truth and if you're delivering it with love and in a gentle way, because it's not to say that expressing your truth has to be done in a really harmful way. It can be gentle. You can deliver your words gently, but yeah, it's just really a card that's letting you know that being who you really are really does, you know, help so many other people do the same. And then obviously your vibration affects those around you, helps others, helps the earth's vibration. So definitely just about sort of being your true self, figuring out what really makes you happy and lights you up, and doing what you need to do to be your true self, and to create and live a life that is truly your own. And then sometimes it's a card to say that sometimes, you know, you do have a double mission in this world, and there is a gift you have to share with humanity that can really help the world. So perhaps you have some sort of healing ability that you do or don't know of. Perhaps you have some gift, skill, talent that you do or not, that you may or may not know of, that can help other people. But there's something that you can do in this world besides being yourself, that can really help humanity or the earth in some way. And then over here with your animals, we have the spider, Dreamweaver. Interesting. Tune into the energetic grids around you. Where can you send your energy for healing? So interesting that we just spoke about potentially, you know, maybe you have a healing gift, and then we have a card here, where can you send your energy for healing? So potentially, I think you could be almost connecting the dots in the following, well, I don't know how long, time's very fluid, but in the weeks, months, years to come. You could be connecting the dots, and your gifts could be sort of like coming online, and you can begin to heal other people or send those healing energies to other people. Yeah, it's really like all these dots in the spider web and stuff. It's really making me think of like a gift, like coming online, like you know, when we rewire our thoughts and like new neuro pathways are lit up and activated. It's like kind of looking like that, but I'm seeing it as like a gift comes online, or you awaken to a gift that you've always had. It's always been there, but it was just difficult to grasp or difficult to see, kind of like a spider web. So yeah, I definitely feel that potentially you have some sort of healing gift, or there could be someone or something around you that you could send your energy to, whether it's like a pet, the earth, a person that you can send healing energy to. And with Lion, we have honor your soul and celebrate its journey. Again, you can honor your soul by being your true self, but also like honoring your soul and celebrating its journey is like honoring how far you've come, how much you've grown, where you're at right now, and celebrating that, because even if you've still got miles and miles to go to get to where you want to be, in hindsight you've come a really long way, and you should celebrate yourself and you should appreciate yourself. So do something that honors yourself and celebrates the journey that you've been on, you know, thus far. That can really sort of improve your energy as well. So the final card, I believe, is the emotions card that we are now going to finally read from the book. All right, so excuse me. Are you going through a particularly emotional time? You may be feeling like things are getting out of control and want everything to calm down. Moonstone can help you to deal with the intense energy of a full moon and or your emotions. Black moonstone is also a very grounding stone, which makes it particularly useful when you are emotionally unbalanced. We class emotions as being of the water element, that is, they are fluid and constantly in motion. Emotions equals energy in motion. The moon, as we know, has an effect on water governing the tides. We too are largely composed of water, so it makes sense we are also affected by the moon. Keen gardeners are also aware of the effect the moon has on plants. When working with emotions, it is important to assess which chakras it may be coming from. If you have a block in a particular chakra, this could be the overflow of built-up energy that needs to find a release. Moonstone is also a perfect stone to grid your bedroom for a peaceful night's sleep, coupled with black tourmaline. Place a large piece under your bed and 4 tourmaline chunks in each of the 4 corners. Citrine is a stone of abundance and manifestation. Ooh, there's the manifestation message. If you're feeling emotional, it may be time to ask yourself, what do I want to create in my life with the help of citrine? You may be feeling emotional because something is missing in your life, or you are feeling out of control. Redefine what you want in your life and why. The citrine I use is, this is just the lady going into okay, I'll still read it anyway. She says, the citrine I use is an Australian citrine over Morion. This combination is very grounding, so when wanting to manifest something in your life, make sure you do it from a grounded place. If you are feeling scattered or not feeling centered, then ground. Go place your feet on the grass and sit and relax. Oh my gosh, it's page 11. 1, 1, 1. We have so many ones. Yeah, so this definitely makes me think of like a lot of this was kind of not useful, I feel. Like not being disrespectful, but for your reading, like a lot of it didn't really go into so much about, I don't know, anyways. But what I was thinking while I was reading it is that this emotional time, often when things are out of control or you're emotional, it's because something's out of alignment. So it's like, you know, what's not in alignment is now going to be completely transformed so that you can cultivate more alignment in your life. But that comes from being very authentic, you know, telling the universe what you need, knowing yourself to know what exactly that is. What do you want? What do you want to cultivate in your life? How can you serve the world? Like getting very clear on your mission and what you want to do with this life. Because yeah, it feels like these emotions are just stemming from, like the book said, something's missing or something's not right. And with all these ones, there's like a beautiful new beginning on the horizon for you that is so in line with your truth. But obviously for these new beginnings to enter, we need to clear space and get rid of what's not in alignment, what can't be taken to that, you know, new vibration, that new frequency. And yeah, basically just create space for the new beginnings to come. So that's the end of your reading, Group 2. I hope you've enjoyed it. Sending love, light, and everything bright. Bye. Hello Group 3, welcome to your almost private reading. So I've already touched on what this reading entails in the intro, so go check that out if you want a rundown of the reading. Otherwise, I'm going to get straight into it. So you are here if you chose this crystal. I don't actually have a name for this one. It came in like a mixed bunch, but it's the closest looking... Is it focusing? It's the closest looking one I had to the one on the card. So let's leave her up there. So we're going to have a look at this card now, but we're not going to read the message from the guidebook until the end, and we'll just sort of see how it ties into the reading. But your card is number 15, Soul Healing, and it's the Tangerine Quartz. So pretty close. This one probably looks more like a carnelian to me, but closest I had. So we're going to leave that one up here for now. And we're going to get into your messages. So to start this reading off, we're just going to be asking the universe what it would like to discuss with you in general. So this is definitely sort of just left up to Spirit and what Spirit wants to talk about. And then we're going to break into the other areas of your life one by one. So what would the universe wish to talk about with Group 3? Now and moving forward. So we have fire, radiant, enthusiastic, dynamic, very fiery colours. We have solstice, focus, transition, amplification. And we have the first house coming out, self, body, presence. So I think the first house either came out for every group, or if it didn't, it still was like an undertone. Because I know that it came out in group 2, and I think it came out in group 1, but if it didn't, it was like other cards that basically spoke of the self. So the self is a very major theme, and it's a very common theme, I think, among everyone now and moving forward. Underneath we have Venus, beauty, artistry, and love. So we're going to leave Venus over here for now, unless we need to bring her back in. But let's see. So radiant enthusiasm. This feels to me like what the universe wants to tell you right now is that basically like the energy for you is amplified right now. So anything that you're putting energy towards, the universe is like amplifying that energy, that focus. So where attention goes, energy flows, right? So what you're thinking of, what you're doing, basically wherever you're sending energy, it's going to be amplified. So if you use this energy correctly, you could channel it into things that are going to, you know, positively impact or positively change your life. For example, like if you started like a workout routine, it's like you just have to start, and then the universe is coming through with like supporting energies that really amplifies it, and it's like you'll be able to stick to it really well, and you're going to get really, really good results really, really quickly. If you're starting a project and you're focused and you're channeling energy into a project that's right for you, or that you're really invested in, something for yourself, the energy is going to be amplified. So it feels like anything that you're doing for you, so not for other people, but anything that you're doing for you, is going to be highly favored right now. So whatever that looks like to you, if it's a project you want to do, if it's a hobby you want to start doing again, if it's a course that you want to sign up for, if it's for you, the energies are really, really supporting it. So what I do feel like saying is try not to waste too much time doing things that aren't intentional, if that makes sense. So like be intentional in everything that you do, or as much as that as you can. Obviously if you're taking time out, you're resting, you know, be intentional about that too, and really rest, like switch off devices and properly rest. But like just be very intentional, because intention's everything. But there's just like really good energies that are favoring you right now. So wherever you direct your focus and your energy, it's going to pay off, and it's going to have a really good result. You're very supported. And you know, with Venus on the bottom, if that looks like if love is what you're looking for, or a relationship's what you're looking for, it's a good time to put yourself out there. You know, harness your confidence, be dynamic, be versatile, show yourself, be yourself. You know, I think that you do have like this radiant, enthusiastic qualities in you, and it can be very helpful and attractive, and you can attract people, the right people. If it's something to do with art, you know, give it your all, indulge in that art, whether it's dancing, painting, singing, writing, whatever that art is. And with beauty, fire and first house, take care of yourself, your beauty, your looks, your body, your skin. Really take care of you as the canvas you are. Anyway, so that's what the universe wants to discuss. I think I'm going to leave that part there. We may see it kind of come back into the reading a few times. We may not, I don't know. It could be like an undertone for the rest of the reading. We'll see what happens. But for now, we're going to go into career, and we are going to get some messages in that area of your life. So career is whatever you're doing for your career, or if you're working towards a career, it's like whatever you're doing at the moment, whether that's study, working, or anything else. I'm going to try and look into that for you. So group 3. What do they need to know now and moving forward in terms of career? Okay, so reflection, the 3 of forces, one more please, just one more. The willow in reverse. Alright, so with reflection, I do feel like you may be doing a lot of reflection about where you're at, and maybe contemplating some sort of career related journey, or like a transition, career related transition. It feels like you're definitely weighing a lot of things up, and it could be that you're contemplating like a relocation, a transferal, because the bird's nest is also making me think of like emptiness equals happy flight. But it could also be like, especially with the imagery, you could be contemplating whether maybe you want to like reduce your hours so you can give more to your children or your home, or something that you're trying to nurture in your home, like a project or a side business or something. Maybe you're contemplating working from home. You could even be thinking about, like if you're in a partnership, you could be thinking about expanding your family, you know, like having children, having a child, having another child, whatever the case is for you. You know, you could be sort of transitioning away from work so that you can create a family or add to the family. That could definitely be a possibility. I do want to say, like, if it's like a transferal, like say to another department or another location or something like that, The Three of Forces could talk about like meeting new colleagues, new people, and sort of like making new acquaintances and stuff like that. But essentially it's got a lot to do with like expansion. So basically I think you're doing a lot of reflection and trying to make a decision based around some sort of expansion, whether that's family related, home related, job related, business related, some sort of expansion. We have a little butterfly there, which is like transformation, evolution, like evolving. So that makes sense. And then with the Willow in reverse, this is all about the winds of change kind of blowing around you. So there's definitely, I guess, it's almost like the momentum's kind of starting to build up almost. I think it's just about sort of contemplating all of the changes that this decision would make. So really weighing things up and looking at it from all perspectives, acknowledging how much would change or will change. With the Queen of Scrolls on the bottom, that definitely ties in with this message, because she's someone who's very logical and rational and like thinks things through, very wise energy. So trying to make very wise decisions, look at the bigger picture, and make very wise decisions around this matter. I think the guidance would be to trust your intuition on that. With here we have a full moon, and when the moon's full, that's when our intuition can be at a peak. And when the Willow's in reverse, it's about relying on your spiritual truth or your spiritual knowing. So I think that the advice for you is to definitely trust your gut, trust your intuition. Because it's definitely leading you to the right thing or the right choice. What can you tell us about finances now for group 3, please? Now and moving forward. Okay, so we have the 7 of Air. Okay, so the first thing that's coming up for me with that is like check like your subscriptions and payments that are coming out, because it looks like there could be someone or something taking more than what they're supposed to. There's an eyelash of mine. Taking more than what they're supposed to, or taking out little amounts here and there, or there's like a subscription that you don't even use anymore, you don't even know that money's coming out. So there's something that you could like cancel or cut off that's going to have a good effect on your bank account. It's probably something that you've forgotten about or something that you haven't noticed. So just monitor your little charges and look into them if you can't think of, what that charge would be for and stuff like that. Oh, we got 2. I don't really want to take 2. Let's just try to get 1. Okay, and if you... I also want to say, if you're... this is a very intuitive message, which has come out right when the moon's come out too. Be very careful when you're like out, say shopping or out in public, say having a meal or something, if your bag is like next to you or in your trolley or on your trolley, I'm kind of like seeing someone like grabbing your bag and like legging it with these two cards here. And then when the moon came out, it's like trust your intuition, like trust that message and talk about it, you know, illuminate that. So be very careful of that, because it looks like there could be some sort of like you do not see it or even expect it. It's not even in your, you just never would think it would happen. And then there's a very big consequence to that, and it makes you go, wow, I need to be more careful. So just be careful of that, because the Seven of Air can also be someone's like a thief, or someone stealing from you. So be very careful about that. And the other thing I want to say is, every time you're about to make a purchase, pause and reflect and ask yourself, do you really need this? Because it could be an illusion, like you could be, this came through with another group too, but you could be like impulse spending and then having to deal with the consequences of that later on. And it could be like an emotional, like a void that you're trying to fill. So yeah, try to see through that illusion and see where that need to impulse buy comes from. Someone may ask you for money with the promise of paying you back, but they're not telling you the truth. And I think, because the word selflessness is being highlighted to me right now, and I feel like as a very selfless and trusting person, you're very willing to help people out. But someone's going to ask you for money and they're not going to pay it back. They may even think at the time like, yeah, I'll pay it back. And both of you might be convinced that that's the truth, but it's not. And then your selflessness will, you know, kind of come back to bite you. But yeah, definitely like hidden expenses, hidden fees and things like that. Like check up on those and look into all of those little numbers coming out of your account, or little amounts I should say, coming out of your account, because with illusion and then awakenings like Pisces energy, that's like more like illusion energy, like things being hidden from you. I don't know if you have kids, but maybe, you know, like one of your children are taking money out of your purse, or someone that you know and trust could be taking from you without you realizing. But there's definitely something here about being very careful, because there's this energy here of like you not seeing it happen or seeing it coming and someone taking from you. So I guess just be aware and look into all of that. So all right, moving on. We're going to go into love now, and we're going to break this into 3 sections. So we're going to start with singles, then we will get a card and clarifiers for people that have someone on your mind, maybe that you're not necessarily communicating with right now, or it's very up in the air. And then we're going to do a card and clarifiers for those of you that are in connections. So for the singles of group 3, what do they need to know now and moving forward about love? All right, we have number 4, joy and stability. So I feel like that's kind of where you're being asked to focus, if you are a single, is just on how much joy and stability you have in your own life. And if you feel like you're lacking that, I think that you're being told to prioritize that and do things that will cultivate more joy and more stability in your life. Whether that's emotional stability or financial stability or physical stability, either way, focusing on these things for your own self and for your own security can be very beneficial. But this to me feels like, it kind of looks like fireworks there, like just having a really good time, probably being quite social. We have a lot of fire energy up in the top of your reading, so it doesn't surprise me that there's this like fiery, outgoing energy coming here. We had like enthusiastic was a word, dynamic was a word, radiant was a word. So yep, definitely high energy, probably feeling very outgoing like now or very soon, feeling quite social and potentially wanting to have fun, or that's what you're being guided to do. Fireworks make me think of like fireworks when you first see someone, and the fireworks, they talk about fireworks. And we have the Seven of Pentacles coming out in reverse, so maybe if you've been single for a long time, you could go to an event or a party or a gathering or some type of get together and see someone where when you meet there's, that spark, those fireworks that people talk about. And because I say like a long time coming, because Seven of Pentacles in reverse is kind of like something that's a long time coming, like something that you've been waiting a long time for. These are really playing up these cards right now. I feel like you're in this energy of maybe a little bit stuck in the past or stuck on someone, and you need to fully release or fully cut that cord so that you're really ready to attract someone into your life. To me, this feels like you want joy and stability, but you haven't fully let go of someone or something, and it's creating like stillness and stagnancy because you're not fully open up to something new. It's like you're clinging to the idea or the hope of someone else coming back, and that's preventing you from sort of moving forward. And if it's not someone, it's something that hurt you, like a situation that hurt you that you're holding on to, like whether it's childhood or beyond, something that you're struggling to properly let go of, and therefore it's keeping you stuck. Could even be like a belief that stemmed from childhood, like you witnessed unhealthy relationships, you witnessed affairs, you witnessed DV or something along those lines. And you've carried that with you, and it's kind of blocking you at this point. It needs to kind of be shed, and a new perspective needs to be found. But I would say, because of the reflective energy, it's probably not a good time to start anything new, but it's a good time to just sort of prioritize your own joy and stability within yourself. That's what I feel like your advice is there. Now we're going to ask about the person on group 3's mind. So we have a number 3, nurture. can we clarify nurture, please? So this is similar to like the Empress, or it would be the Empress in a normal tarot deck. The Hierophant, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups reversed. So this person's very focused on themselves, and they feel like they have a lot of work to do before they're emotionally available. They are a very... They follow some sort of belief or tradition. Hang on. They could be religious in some way, or they have strong morals and strong values and strong traditions in some way. But right now they feel like they have work to do to live true to that. They acknowledge that they have a long way to go. They acknowledge that they have a closed heart, and at the moment they're really just in this mode of like working on themselves and developing themselves, I guess, to they could even be seeing like a counselor or a psychologist or a healer, a spiritual mentor of some kind in an effort to work on themselves. If anybody here was dealing with someone that was married, I do want to say that they are nurturing the marriage and trying to make it work, and that's why they've closed off to you. So if someone here was dealing with someone that was either recently divorced or recently separated and they've just kind of gone quiet, they are trying to work on that and rebuild the marriage, and that's why they have gone ghost and blocked off communication and connection. But if you're not dealing with that and you didn't know, if this person hasn't said to you like, oh, I was married or I've just come out of a relationship, then it's not for you. Like, it's not a hidden marriage, it's not an affair. Well, I don't think. Maybe for some of you, but I do feel like they're working on themselves. If not, just keep that message in mind. If the more I look at it, the more strongly it kind of comes through. It could be even because like it might not be like malicious, like they didn't mean to hurt you. Maybe there's kids involved or a child involved or something, and they're trying to do it for the child. But yeah, they have a closed heart space and they're working on other things, whether it's a marriage or just self-development. That's it in a nutshell. All right, and what about group 3 for the group 3 people that are in connections? All right, so we have a lot of 3s starting to come through. So 333 could be a number that you're seeing already, or one that you're going to start to see following this reading. Share the love. So to me, this feels like, oh, you might be given a gift. very soon, actually. But it definitely feels like a time where it's a very mutual, happy time. Could be a celebration, either your or their birthday, so you could be giving or receiving a gift, or it could just be for no reason, or it could be like an anniversary gift or something along those lines. But I do feel like there's a celebration, there's a gift that you're getting or receiving, and it's a time where you can really enjoy each other's love, energy and attention. Is there anything else that we need to add with share the love? If you are in the stage of your connection where you haven't said the L word yet, but you're feeling it, I think it's safe to say it, and I'm pretty sure your person will say it back to you. Yeah, it's time. Seven of Pentacles in reverse for me is like, the time is now. In the upright, it's like planting seeds and waiting for the growth to occur, but in the reverse position, I kind of see it as like, the time is now, the harvest is ready, pick those seeds or pick that fruit. So so it could even be like you saying it, or you've been waiting for them to say it and the wait is over. Someone's going to say that L word. We have, oh no, of course I would do that. Alright, how are we looking? Is that right? I think that's okay. So we have the World in reverse. Interesting. So I probably should have clarified before I went into that card on its own, because I feel like that message is actually how you're going to resolve a problem that's a bit up in the air at the moment. So you guys might have been arguing or having a disagreement and it's like stretched out, or like someone's doing the silent treatment thing, and like it's almost like, come on, this has been going on too long, this has been left up in the air or left unresolved for too long, it's time to sort this out. And it feels like maybe you're being guided to like break the ice or like soften the energy so that you guys can resolve the issue in a way that benefits everybody involved. And for the share the love card to be there, it feels like, you know, love is the answer. Like, bring love into the situation and all will be okay. But this situation's been unresolved for too long. You can't go on like this. You know, this energy needs to be cleared so that you can sort of reconnect again and recover. And this cycle needs to end now. So you can do that by sharing your love, softening the energies, being gentle, kind, compassionate, those types of things. All those threes are like Empress energy, which is very caring, compassionate. You know, still know your worth and know that you're a prize, but it's all about sort of nurturing, caring energy. Okay, so we're going to go into spiritual and personal growth now. So we're going to get one from here. So we have I Remember, Soul Plan, the Fated Life versus the Destiny Life. Shadow work with the fox. And the llama, soul growth. Okie dokie, so.
Okay, I found this on the web for Okie dokie, so check it out.
I don't know why. I don't know why my Mac picked me up saying okay so, but anyway. Where were we? Okay, I Remember, Soul Plan, the Fated Life versus the Destiny Life. So this card is all about how. Now, I might get these back to front, but I hope I'm going to get it right. So the fated life is the life that we are born into, and the destiny life is the one that we have to choose. So it's like fate is what we are born into. That's what we agreed upon when we came here. It was fated to be that way. And the destiny life we have to actively choose continuously throughout our journey. Sometimes we might not awaken to that destiny life until later in life. Sometimes we have to go through a lot of challenges, a lot of very, very difficult times throughout childhood and beyond before we awaken to that destiny life. And sometimes we can get trapped into that fated life, or, trapped in the circumstances that we are born into. But the whole purpose is to evolve and to choose to fulfill our destiny. So in that sense, destiny, how do I put this into words? It's to say you can miss your destiny, you can miss opportunities, is what that is to say. So even if you want to fulfill your destiny, sometimes you have to take that opportunity. You can't just let it pass you by. There's still something involved for you to do as well, And I think that this is asking you to awaken to your soul plan. Like, what is it? What is your destiny? So the fated life is what you were born into and the circumstances that you were involved in until that awakening point, and then it's your chance to choose destiny. So what is your destiny? Because we have the words I remember, you could be kind of waking up to this now and starting to narrow in on that destiny life, or starting to choose that destiny life for yourself. But wherever you're at, your soul knows, and by tuning into that soul space, or the energy of your soul, it can be your best guide. And then of course it takes healing. You definitely need to realize your shadows, face your shadows in order to grow and bring light to those shadows. Like, we have two very polar opposite cards, very dark, very light. It says here, there's no shadows without light. Growth is never easy. Have fun and trust in the journey. So have faith and trust in the journey. So, there's a lot of work involved in awakening to that destiny life. It's not always easy, but with faith and trust, you can get through that journey, and you can transform your shadows into light and choose that destiny life. And then coming back to like that beginning message, like if you know what it is that you want to do next, if you've remembered, or if you have an idea, this is the time to implement or to start, or if it's just that self-discovery, this is the time to start that self-discovery. Like wherever you put that energy and that focus, the universe is helping you right now. It's amplifying it, and you can probably completely shift to new timelines during this time, or like skip ahead. What's that word? Like quantum leap ahead on your journey, where it moves quicker, you know, like, yeah. But honestly, like, it all comes down to healing. Right, I think that's all I'm getting from there. I think we can go into our final message now, which is the soul healing card. And we may even get a few charms out for advice for you guys, because we are ahead of schedule for this group. But we're going to read this one from the book, so I'll grab it. Where did I put the book? Oh. Okie dokie. So, tangerine quartz is a powerful tool for healing the soul. It is said to help with trauma or shock of any kind, soul retrieval, and past life healing, and can show the soul how to see the positive in the lessons it learns. Shamans believe that when we experience trauma or shock, a part of our soul fragments or remains stuck in that time of our life. If you have ever felt like you haven't been the same since a certain event happened in your life, it could be a good opportunity to journey back to that event and bring that part of your soul home. Sometimes we can be reliving our past energy as well. Generally, if you keep doing something or a certain situation keeps happening and you have no idea why, it can indicate past life healing is needed. Working with a shaman can help you in this situation, as can calling on the healing energy or spirit of tangerine quartz. Tangerine quartz will help the soul heal and understand the lesson or gift in each trauma or learning experience. Tangerine quartz is also a beautiful aid to help with creativity and raising Kundalini energy, which are both healing activities for the soul that allow you to release blockages and nurture yourself. Very nice. Just trying to relate that back to your reading, because normally this brings something together, but it could just be something extra. Actually, it definitely relates to this spiritual growth section now that I take a better look. So your healing can reconnect you with parts of yourself that you have forgotten. So I feel like maybe you have a gift to be discovered. That's a part of your destiny, a gift or a talent or a skill that's dormant, and as you heal and grow, that part of you will be called back, because it's something that you've done in past lives, and it's going to come back to you when you do this healing. And then it could also be telling you to work with a shaman. So if you feel called to, you could work with a shaman to help remove some of these blockages or do this spiritual work. But yeah, it seems like you know, healing and clearing out blockages is very important for you to awaken to this destiny life, or these gifts or talents or skills that you're meant to use in this lifetime. I will get a few charms for you guys because the other groups definitely went longer than this, so we'll just grab a few. It might be a bit noisy, be careful. I'll just grab maybe like 5, but I'll grab them one at a time without looking. So probably more than 5, but that's okay. All right, so what have we got here? So we have a music note, a treble clef, I believe that is. So music could be a tool for you to use in your healing, or it could be one of your gifts or skills, could be to do with music. We have Wanderlust. Now Wanderlust kind of makes me think of like that sort of intuitive pull to journey or explore. So I feel like that's telling you to like follow that pull and explore where you're led to explore, journey to where you're led to journey. Okay, I don't know what... I'm not sure what this says or what this is, but when I first looked at it, I thought it was, straight up thought it was a shaman with like the feathers on their head. And I was like, oh look, it's a shaman, definitely see a shaman. I'm going to interpret it that way because of how I saw it, but I actually don't really know what that is. It's kind of bringing me to like, I don't know, ancient Egypt roots. So maybe you're going to remember something from a different life, like from Egypt, ancient Egypt times, or something along those lines. We have a little, I think it's a spanner. Don't judge me if I get the names of tools wrong. A spanner. So I think that's symbolic of, you know, working on yourself, and, you know, whatever you do work on, you'll see good results because of those supporting energies. We have the two hearts. So I think this is symbolic of like, you don't have to do it all alone. You can heal with the help of another. So maybe it's about leaning on people that support you, your partner if that's the case. But yeah, I'm definitely seeing like two energies combining forces there. We have a little Eiffel Tower, so maybe someone here has wanderlust to go travelling to Paris, or someone's from Paris, or someone's in Paris. Take it as it resonates. We have the Tree of Life, which is making me think of like intergenerational, you know, past life, ancient times again once more, and also it's making me think of like knowledge. So I feel like you're going to be learning a lot, gaining a lot of wisdom in the coming times. I think that with the rainbow here, it's a sign of like a silver lining, and like even when even when it's raining, there's something beautiful to come out of that, you know, like silver lining. We have the key, so unlocking a new chapter is what that's making me think of. We have the anchor, so grounding can be very helpful to you, getting really grounded, anchoring your energy in with the earth. And we have this could be an acorn or it could be grapes. I don't know. I first thought it was an acorn, and then acorn. It's an acorn. My mind sometimes. Anyways, I don't know what an acorn would mean. Maybe there's some sort of spiritual meaning behind it. Maybe no, it's not an acorn, it's a pine cone that I'm thinking of. Oh my gosh. Oh. Wow. Pine cone is what I was thinking of. I don't know, the more I look at it, the more it looks like grapes. Could be grapes, could be pine cone. I don't know. If it's grapes, I would say like treat yourself, indulge in life's little luxuries, you know, take time to smell the roses, all that jazz. If it's a pine cone, harden up. No. I don't know. Maybe look up pine cones and see if they have a special meaning, or maybe you've just passed a pine cone today, or you will see a pine cone. I don't know. Take that part as it resonates. But that's all from me, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the reading. Sending love, light, and everything bright. Bye.